Hi, thank you so much for joining us. We are Managed Solution, your IT and business technology experts. And I have with me today Feli Michaka. Feli, you and I have been talking about this for a while now. I'm so happy that you're here. Thank you so much for joining us.
I'm excited. Thank you for the invitation. I love it. Thank you.
Absolutely. You're a company that's worth being on somebody's radar.
Okay.
Where would you say those organizations need to be paying the most attention to right now, especially during COVID, while cyber attacks are way up? Where should they be paying attention to right now as far as not getting attacked and not falling for attacks?
58% tax increase, just to confirm your comment. And wow, that's a fantastic question, Jessica. I will say definitely email. We all know that cyber criminals are not going after company systems. Guess what? They're going after the company's users. Our users are very, very vulnerable right now. Most of them are working from home, like you said. They have no extra layer of protection, no security, right? So they're very vulnerable. So it's huge, right? It's like harvest time for these cyber criminals, and they know it. So we just need to be in the alert. I think the key word here, Jessica, is awareness, the user awareness. We just need to have a new email contact, and we just have to have our shields on.
Okay, so with regards to email, let's hypothetically say that, your organization is on a budget, because we
Okay.
see it a lot, especially now. What would you suggest that they do? Bare minimum, what should they be doing to protect their email?
How about just implementing what we already have? In other words, let's open our toolbox and utilize what we have. Most of the customers are already paying for tools like advanced threat protection, right? Email encryption, which, by the way, it's great for financial and healthcare institutions. And my favorite, multi-factor authentication, MFA. These are very, very powerful tools and can definitely add that extra layer of security.
What does it mean to have advanced threat protection?
Just basically adds a little extra layer of protection, scamming, phishing, and all that. So it's just a really good thing to have besides MFA. Multi-factor authentication, you turn that feature on for your mailbox every time you log in. Let's say you log in online, you put your email address and password. Once you type the password, hey, I need your code, that secure code that goes to your cell phone or your app, whatever you decide. Without that code, Jessica, without that authentication, they cannot log into the mailbox, and that's why it's so powerful against cyber attacks. Email encryption, that's probably, again, very good option for financial institutions, healthcare. We have a lot of healthcare companies. HIPAA is very, very hard on regulations, right? If you sending a email with potential patient information, they have to be encrypted. That's one of the requirements. And basically, it's already part of Outlook with 365.
If we're talking to an organization that has, pie in the sky budget, what would be like the gold standard of email security available?
Here's the key. User awareness, right? Let's have a lunch and learn, let's train, let's invest on our users. Let's bring the user awareness back in the house. Cyber criminals, guess what? They're investing the time, they invest in the effort. As companies, I think we should invest that time and efforts on our people and give them that user awareness.
What you're saying is exactly right, but I never imagined it that way, where there are these people who invest so much time into figuring out how to hack our emails.
Never, never, never respond to an email that asks for a password or a prompts for a password. I actually learned this one from my TAM, my technical account manager. We have great coaches here and manage. Look for grammatical errors. Very, very important. And some of these things are very obvious. You just have to look for those really odd emails. And let me give you an example. Okay, this happened to me yesterday. Okay, just yesterday. So this is fresh out of the oven. I received an email from a CEO of a company. Okay, the last time I received an email from this particular CEO was probably months ago. Okay, so that immediately caught my attention. Sure enough, it was an attack that got handled. Everything's fine. Another good point, and this is something that sometimes we don't think about, right? But here you go. Do not read or go through your emails, Jessica, if you are in a big hurry or trying to meet a deadline. You know why? If you do that, you just raised the level of your vulnerability, and the criminals will take advantage of that. True story, Christmas 2018. Christmas 2018. One of my previous positions, this customer was in a big hurry. Again, going back to the big hurry. She was in charge of getting all the gifts for the Christmas party. She clicked on the link for an amazing offer at Walmart. $15,000 later, she found out it was all fake. By this time, it was way too late. The company lost all that money. Jessica, the sad part was, she told me later she had that gut feeling that something was wrong with that email. But she said, Feli, I had no time. I had no time to go to the website. Have she done that, she would have known it was all fake. Just before we were placed in quarantine, I did a security 101 training, for one of our customers. And, it's just the basics of do's and don'ts on email and system security, right? About a week or 2 weeks later, I was on site for the same customer. One of the users asked me to look at something that, caught her attention, right? Again, back to the user awareness, right? We had just trained her on that 2 weeks earlier. So she recognized the name on this email, but guess what? She noticed that there was no last name. That was weird, right?
There's no last name?
No last name on the email. And she get email from this person before, but this particular time, there was no last name on the email title, right? The email head. So I said, okay, I complimented her for being diligent, right? But she told me, Feli, I do business with this person, but I just don't see the last name on the person. Well, anyway, basically we call the customer, and guess what? That supposed person that emailed her with no last name, that person has just left the company the week before.
Oh, wow.
So that was a direct attack. That was definitely a criminal email. Wow. And thanks to our training, she recognized it, she stopped it. And, the supervisor were so happy, right? That, hey, Feli, thanks, the training paid off, right?
Anything else you want to share specifically around email and email security and warding off those types of attacks?
It doesn't matter. We have 1,000 tools, but we're redless inside the office. So the user awareness is huge. It only takes 15 minutes, right?
Oh, wow. Okay.
And there's really, we're not gonna give them a whole, 3-hour training and bore them to death.
Connect with Feli on LinkedIn. Connect with me. We love what we do. We're here for you.
That's right. That's right.
And we will see you next week. Thanks so much for watching.